Marković. My wife Monica is CEO of our organization. We founded it back in 2015 with some friends. Originally, it was an organization focused on culture and education, mostly for, as our name suggests, families and children. Throughout the years, we grew. We got involved in many other projects, human rights projects, humanitarian projects, in time. Our mission is to allow every person in all their uniqueness to take advantage of what the world has to offer and to be able to contribute to the development of that world. So in the spring of 22, the world became very unfair to millions of Ukrainians, and we use our resources to help them, working with families.
It's called MHPSS, Mental Health and Psychosocial Support. And the three of our biggest projects are Center for Psychophysical Development 22, which was founded back in May 22, originally in support with American-based NGO Project Hope. Up to this day, we have supported almost 10,000 persons, about 70% of them minors, children, with various forms of psychosocial, from specialized services of individual therapy. The second big project, which was run with support from UNHCR specifically, was Konto Connects, where we entered schools and worked with mixed Polish-Ukrainian groups. In Polish schools education system, when you have what we call a class, it's like the same group of 25 or 30 kids going together to all the classes, not like, hey, I got this on biology and this one on chemistry. So these are tight-knit groups spending years together, and we work there, again, with a systematic, holistic approach to help them integrate, to help them work together. And the third thing is, the one you see here, Space for Youth, is something we opened almost exactly a year ago, an integrational international youth club, where the youth take the agency of what they do. They're involved in programming, they propose their own activities, they have workshops that they themselves lead for others, and this is like right now, early on we didn't have many, we had to build it up. We worked tirelessly. Nowadays, every day we have a few dozen people coming. Altogether, about 1,000 came. Not just now, this is not predominantly Ukrainians, but well, there are a noticeable minority, so there are about 30% of who comes there, but this is truly an integrative place where we can either take part in the workshops or just have fun, play guitar, whatever, play video games, board games. And this is constantly going on, and we have success stories. One of my favorites that I like to tell, and Mr. Mayor may have heard that, so I apologize for repeating myself, but I really like that about a Ukrainian girl, a teenager, about 18 years of age. Since she came to Poland 2 years ago, she didn't leave her flat. Maybe to go to shop, to the nearest shop, but she wouldn't go anywhere until she came to the club, met friends here, felt safe, started coming there almost every day, got involved. Hey, I have a proposition how to redecorate it. Now she's leading artistic workshop for her age mates. So she went from being hidden to being a leader. So these are the basic things, the most important projects that we did. But I don't want to talk only about our projects. There are two things that happened literally within the last few days that made me direct my presentation today to you a bit differently. First, I got informed by the US consulate in Krakow that I have been selected, invited to participate in the international leadership program, so I'll visit the United States in the summer for a few weeks. I have an official declaration from the Department of State that I'm a leader, which probably counts for something. And the other thing is, I was taking part in a similar meeting for the representatives of Council of Europe on Thursday, who were interested in migration. And we were talking, we were describing the challenges posed me, some colleagues were there for other NGOs. And at a certain point, one of these delegates from the Council of Europe said, it's our 4th day in Poland, and for the first time, somebody tells us about challenges and problems. So, appreciate, ma'am, you appreciating our work, but let me talk about something else. Going back to those two things, I was really thinking about this, that he said, in fourth day we only hear about problems. And I was thinking, and I felt like for myself, the difference between a leader and a manager, as important as that role is, the manager needs to make decisions. The leader sometimes needs to make a stand. So I'll try to make a stand. Not to you personally, but to you as representatives of a powerful country. I want to talk about what happened in January with President Trump's suspending the funds. And Agnieszka hinted at that. On the 26th of January, we received a phone call and half an hour later an email from WHO, which funds Center 22, this 10,000 people, that we should cease all our activities efficient yesterday, on the day before. We should stop working. Obviously, there's no such, they withdrew financing. Obviously, there's no such thing in our agreement, but we are an organization employing 25 people. We're not going to Swiss court to sue World Health Organization. So we had to go to our employees, which are in Tutu exclusively Ukrainian refugees, psychologists, child counselors, who are single moms de facto, and tell them, you are fired today, because we don't have money for you. And actually, we still pay them because we are obliged to Polish law. We are burning through our organizational funds, which only last for about a month. What we say to spend on them. And even worse, then they had to say to go to speak to people who come and tell them you can no longer come. And you know, famously said, I'll attribute to 100 different people, one man's death is a tragedy, million deaths is statistics. I think you on the Capitol Hill, you operate on statistics, and we tell you, I started with statistics. But let me talk to you about tragedies. It's a teenage girl, 17-year-old, cuts on her wrists, telling her mom in front of our psychologist, wiped away, cried when she relayed that story to me, telling, I don't have a will to live, PTSD, depression. We sent her to a psychiatrist. She came back from the psychiatrist with the information she urgently needs pharmacotherapy and psychotherapy that she can't afford. We gave it to her. We told her she must go. It's a 20 or 30-year-old boy who only a few days before that learned that his father was killed on the field of battle in Ukraine, whom we had to tell, you can't come. It's a woman in her 40s, mother of 3, I think, who was coming to our center for 2 hours women workshops once a week, which was the only 2 hours that she had for herself, and only herself, besides those moments when the kids were asleep and she would lock herself in the bathroom and cry, which is said during those workshops. And we had to tell her, you can no longer come. Removal of the American flags doesn't mean much. I mean, in the scheme of things. But those people, like, we understood the money might dry out, but the fact that here in Ukraine and in Haiti and in Africa, that overnight we had to, the results of that suspension is, I don't know if I'll see a teenager with cut wrists alive again. Mm-hmm. My wife told me not to be emotional, but I am emotional. And also, I want to ask, not to you question to answer me, but to discuss in DC what kind of leadership America wants to propose to the world. I'm just a small guy, but I remember the 80s, and America as the beacon of hope for us behind the Iron Curtain, as an example, as an aspiration. And right now, America is not that for us. Because being a leader sometimes means taking a burden upon yourself. You are leaders, you know that as well as I know in my old organization. You take that burden. You can't be a leader without, it was funds, yes, it was protection, Mr. Ma was talking, army. This was what made us trust you as our big brother, in a good sense, big brother, right? And if we lose that, like, where do we go from here? Like, I understand American society and American politicians can say, well, this is your European problem or Polish problem. We don't want to be invested in that. And that's your right. I cannot question that right. But if you do that, I'll just need to mention that that means you cannot call yourselves the leaders of the free world, which you like to do. You cannot be leaders of the world while caring only about the United States. You have the right to care only about the United States. But then you're not somebody we look up to like we used to, which many people said, for centuries, literally centuries. The first constitution, democratic constitution in the world is American, the second one is Polish, inspired by you. So we root for you. I root for you as a state to be the leader, whether Democrats or Republicans. We didn't care about that much, in the history. Right now, I'm sorry to say that you are failing us. And the future to me is not as bright as Mr. Director meant to say. With some loss of those funds, with the possible collapse of Ukraine, bleeding themselves dry for our safety as well, and maybe another 2 million inhabitants and Russian armies, a 3-minute flight or a minute flight from the city of Rzeszów. We root for you, but we need something from you. I hope my words are not too harsh.
No.